Hello everyone, it's Shel C from PaperOcotilloStudio. Today I'm sharing with you another art journal page. I am doing a art journal prompt challenge with Art Joy of Sharing, my Facebook group, along with Peg Robinson, and we are doing art journal pages every single day using a prompt list. The prompt list is hashtag AJOS peculiar persona, and it's all about making fun and kooky characters on your art journal pages every day in October 2021. So Peg actually sent me a package of Happy Mail, and I decided to use the things that she sent me, some of them, to make my page today. And she sent me some cut-off strips from different pattern papers, and then a package of these Dilutions characters from Diane Reevely. And it just so happens that my art journal is a Diane Reevely art journal as well, called a Dialogue. This one is the one that has all black paper in it. And I thought that it would be fun to play with these colorful strips of paper that Peg sent me, and also these little characters to make my character for today. So today is day 7, and well, this video is day 7. It's actually probably day 8 now, but because I'm one day behind because of other obligations that I had during the month. So these strips, I just tore the ends off of them to make a little bit of a torn edge, and I'm gluing them down using a Yoo-Hoo glue stick into my journal to make a background. And I am folding this one to make it fit into the center. Of course, this is a book, so I've always got to deal with that crease in the middle, and I needed to trim it a little bit to make it fit. The total three strips weren't quite right, but it was such a small margin that this middle section is a very skinny strip. But I didn't want them all the same. I wanted variation. The colors are all similar: greens, blues, turquoise, and then some blacks, a little bit of pink. These are great colors, and all the strips that she sent me had these same type of colors. So it made my background really fun and easy. Just gluing down some strips vertically, and it was really cool that all the ones that she sent me were similar colors so that I could just put them all together right on one page. Pretty fun. So once I get those all glued down, there was in her package one circle, and I thought I would just put that on the page too, to balance opposite my character. So I have to have ground for my character to stand on. I don't like them to float. So I put a couple of the trimmed off strips across there, the real narrow ones, just to make, you know, I guess we would call that, it's the ground. It's just the ground. I don't know. It's not the horizon line. There is no horizon line on this one. So then these characters are die cut and printed, but I don't like having that excess white around it, especially since this page is pretty intensely colored and dark because of, the colors that I'm using. So I fussy cut around that and cut off all the white parts that I didn't like around the edges. I cut that part out, you guys. I cut out the cutting, haha, because that's boring. So then I decided to color it, and I decided to use these Prismacolor pencils that were sitting near where I sit in my studio. I haven't put them away yet from some other project, and so I decided that would be a good thing to color this with. It does seem like it's a sturdy paper, like I could probably use some sort of water media on it, but I just decided to do it with these. So I found opposite this turquoise color on the color wheel would be orange, like green blue versus an orange red. So I wanted to use that opposing color. Also, there is like some reddish orange on some of these pieces. I think they're gel prints, and she probably used turquoise and orange together. That's a good combination to use together. It's very dynamic. So I'm using kind of like a light turquoise, a dark turquoise, and a dark orange And then this chartreuse green, which is kind of like yellow but more green. It's lime colored green to color my person. And then I eventually add in some pink because there is a little bit of pink. I don't have a pencil that's like a super bright, crazy pink. There wasn't like a fuchsia pencil. So the pink is on the pencils a little bit muted, more than I would have liked. I would have preferred it to be like a fluorescent pink almost, or, really something intense. There just wasn't one in the box. And I didn't feel like getting out a different set of pencils to look. I have another whole big set of pencils from Arteza that might have some of those colors, but I was not going to get them out. When you're doing a daily art journal page and a daily video, that's a lot. And so, I'm not going to go searching for things. So I just kept coloring. I did add a little bit of Caucasian skin tone to the face eventually and some pink to the cheeks. And I gave her some turquoise eyeshadow, which makes her look like she's from a past era, kind of, except for the crazy green and turquoise hair doesn't look like a past era necessarily. But the glasses, the cat eye glasses, I don't know. These are cute characters. Diane Reevely draws them and she uses them in her art journals. And these are, of course, manufactured under her name as the designer by Ranger Company. I have no particular affiliation to Ranger. I just happen to be using a lot of their products recently. They make a lot of products for art journaling. They have a lot of stuff, journals and paints and inks and just all kinds of stuff. These little die cut characters. They have different designers have different ones. There's a lot to choose from at Ranger. So then once I glued down my little person, I needed to integrate her into the page. So I used my Stabilo All pencil in black and my water brush to kind of give a shadow on that lighter side. Obviously, I can't really shadow the black side because that doesn't work. The reason that I picked this character, and there's two characters of each one in the package, so I still have one left, but it was because of the way her hands were. She has her hands out like she's saying this one or this one, this one or this one. And so she was perfect for the prompt, which was Desiree Decisive, because that's all about deciding, right? So, at least in my interpretation of the prompt. I also made a little bit of marks around here and there to add some more black into the background papers. And I wanted some bright pink, some more pink. So I used this Dilutions paint with a fan brush and watered it down so that I could splatter a little bit. So now I have a lot of pink splatter. When you see the close-ups at the end of the video, you'll be able to see them. Then I needed something for Desiree to decide between, and so I got out a heart punch and some very bright pink paper and some black paper, and I'm making a stack on each side of her that is a stack of hearts. Does she want to have black hearts or pink hearts? Is she feeling goth that day, or is she feeling bright and cheery? I don't know. I needed the black to go with the black background. Could have been a different color, but it just looked, it made more sense to me to do black and pink. So then I'm gluing those down as well. And I hold up the glue stick and I take that heart on my finger and just drag it across the glue to get the glue on the back. Instead of trying to like lay it down on paper and put the glue on the back of it. That's a little bit tricky for something this small, so it's easier to just drag it across like that. So now she has something to decide between. So then I wanted to put a quote on here that is it's one of my favorite quotes of all time. It's from a Rush song, so it's lyrics. If you choose not to decide, you still have made a choice. And I think that's just a really great, very wise set of lyrics because that's just so true. Sometimes you just don't choose. You're like, should I do this or not? I can't decide. I can't make up my mind. And that too is a choice. That's the choice of not deciding. So, it's I just think that's a really cool quote, and I thought it was perfect for this page. So I got out a bunch of different stuff that I don't use very often. I've got some rub-ons, I've got some stickers. These are all letters. I have this big 12 by 12 cube full of letter stuff, all kinds of things that have to do with letters. And because this is such a lengthy process, I rarely do it because wow, took a minute. So I took one of the scraps left over from the um, the background. I still had a few of those strips that she sent me, and I started making my words on that because you remember what happened. I don't know, a few weeks ago, I put put butterfly across the page, and the Y didn't fit. Did you remember that? It didn't actually end up affecting the page at all, but I was pretty annoyed at the time. And so I didn't want a repeat of that junk. Plus, I wasn't really sure how the rub-ons, the orange and pink letters are rub-ons. I wasn't sure how how they would do with the background that I had there. For one, would they be too translucent and not show up on the black? And for another, would they even rub onto there because there's so much acrylic paint, so I didn't want to mess anything up. So I just decided to make my quote on these little strips. So the first one is a strip from the things that she sent me. And then the second line, I have these other sticker things that somebody sent me that have flourishes and tabs and things. And I used one of those with the little square letters. It's a long quote. It's not. If I did it in all the bigger letters, it wouldn't fit. So I needed to definitely make some of it not be as big. So using those little square stickers worked really well. So this is sped up to 8 times fast, so you can imagine how time consuming this was. Probably my favorites of all these ones I used are these ones that you can color yourself, and I have no idea where they came from. And they're pretty depleted already because there was only like a capital and a small for each letter. So you run out of the vowels really quick, and then it starts becoming like, what do I do with this? There's not enough of the letters left. I thought about getting out my die cutting machine and die cutting letters, but then when I went to get the die cuts out, I looked in there and I found all these stickers and rub-ons, and I'm like, well, geez, I need to use those. They've been in that box for so long. So I just kept working on this. I just kept going with it. I hope you guys are enjoying this challenge, and I hope that maybe you guys will join into the challenge if you haven't already. This is only day 8. You could still join, or you could do a here and there when you think about it, when you have an idea. You see the prompt list and you have an idea. If you do make something, be sure to share it in our group, Art Joy of Sharing. If you haven't joined that art community on Facebook, you can go down below the video and click on the link. Make sure that you answer the questions that pop up. If you don't answer the questions, we will not accept you because we have to keep robots out. We have to keep, people who are just going to use their robots to spam. We don't want that type of stuff. So that's why we have the questions. If you did like this, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, leave me a comment or question below. Subscribe if you haven't already. If you haven't, why not? I don't know. It doesn't cost you anything. Not like those streaming services. This is free, free, free. So to finish up, I did some pencil and pen work. I did draw around the rub-ons. They were pretty light, the orange and the pink, light. Couldn't see them very well, so I used an illustration pen to draw around them. I colored in the ones that I could color in. I Found another sticker that was a question mark on that one page of the colorable ones, which was perfect to put above her head and color in again with the pencils. This was a simple page in the technique, but a difficult page in the amount of fussiness. But I definitely think it was worth it. I love the way the quote turned out. I think it's super fun. So thanks, Peg, for the stuff, because basically 90% of what I used on this page came from Peg in Happy Mail. So thank you, my friend. She sent me those rub-ons too, the orange and the pink ones. In the little silver cases, she sent me those. Not today, different day. And there's also yellow and red and blue, I think, in those rub-on sets. But they weren't the right colors for the page, so I didn't use those letters. So I have tons of rub-on letters to use at some point. I also did some little highlights on the letters, just trying to get them to stand out a little bit more. But mostly this page is done. So thank you so much for watching. And that is it for me. Bye-bye.